at this very peculiar intersection, which is where Riverside Drive and Broadway actually meet. Although, when I was about 11, I had a Hackstrom map of New York City and was obsessed with this intersection, never knowing that I'd one day see it. This intersection, Seaman and Cumming. Right by the corner of Seaman and Cumming is this very, very peculiar building, which looks like nothing else in the neighborhood. And when I first moved up here, people told me that this house was once the residence of Harry Houdini, the great magician. Seems magical enough, but it was a complete lie. The reality is that Houdini's widow, Bess, bought this house, which looks exactly the same as every other house on this block. So maybe not so magical. Every year she had a seance to try to bring him back, but Houdini actually never came to Inwood. Or did he? Soon after I moved up to Inwood, I discovered this incredible building, which is actually the oldest residential house still standing in the island of Manhattan, named after Jan Dijkman. It's called Dijkman House. He's famous for not wanting to pay tolls. But what I was even more interested in, which unfortunately is no longer here, is a very peculiar bar that was on this corner, which was called Enan's. It was actually called Keenan's, but the K fell off. Keenan's Piano Lounge. And I thought, that's interesting, piano lounge. So I went inside, but there was no piano anywhere, except for the bar itself, which was shaped like a piano. This rock, Sharakopak, is apparently the site where the Native Americans of the Mannahatta tribe sold the island to the Dutch. The worst real estate deal in American history, perhaps in all of history, for what was at the time 60 guilders or $24. When I first moved here 15 years ago, this was a place called the Hollywood Cafe, and you could sit in here and have the most amazing view of the George Washington Bridge. And there was a walkway, which they've actually done a pretty good job fixing up, and people are walking through it right now. They take bicycles there, but it used to be just a bunch of rocks, and it was very, very desolate. The very edge of Inwood was actually a man-made construct. Once upon a time, the island of Manhattan went even further up into what's now a neighborhood called Marble Hill that's attached to the Bronx, but it was originally attached to Manhattan. That big C over there was put there by undoubtedly fans of the Columbia football team. When I was an undergrad student at Columbia, I never went to a football game, but I've walked by here many times since then, and that waterway seems very, very calm, but once upon a time it was one of the most notorious waterways in all of North America, the dreaded Spoiten Duyvel. So if you found any of this neighborhood voyage at all interesting, I think you'd be even more excited to hear Sylvan Wynn's play Circles Mostly in Wood, inspired by all these spaces, on February 16th at the Cell Theater, which is ironically in Chelsea, the neighborhood I grew up in.